What's going on, guys? It's VenomousFatman here with RealTacoGamer.com, and I'm sitting next to the great Richard Epcar. It's a pleasure.
Where? Oh.
It's a pleasure to meet you. It's nice to meet you. So,
cheers.
He's got a big glass, as you guys can see.
Yeah, where's my... I drank it all, so I need some more.
You just missed it. So,
damn.
We're here. It's late. We're at Chibi-Pa Moto 2011. And he just had his panel recently. It was called Richard Epcar's Outtakes. It was hilarious. So all kinds of cool little outtakes that you did from different shows.
Fun, yeah.
So, to kind of, give a little insight on that, you actually purposely do make some of those outtakes sometimes. I remember you were saying.
Yeah, well, the way that whole thing came about, I was explaining a little bit inside there, was that we started with Lupin III a long time ago, and basically we did all this crazy stuff, and a lot of it just happened because we were in the booth and we would just come up with these silly lines, and they were hilarious. And then I made the mistake of showing the producer one day. And I thought either they'll fire me or they'll think they were hilarious, and thankfully they thought they were hilarious. But the problem was after he saw him, he said, "We want this in all of the shows now. Make me a bunch of them." And
wow.
So I said, "Well, are you going to be paying me any more to do this?" And he said, "No." And so I basically got myself a lot more work for no pay. And
there you go.
But it's become a tradition now. In all my shows that I direct, we have all these great outtakes. So.
But it's so much fun to do. It seems like doing them. I mean, everybody in the panel room was literally on the floor.
Yeah.
Some of those sequences.
It's a lot of fun. We have a blast doing it.
That's great. Now, besides that, I recently just found out not too long ago that you dubbed and did one of the voices for one of my most favorite animes, which is GTO.
Yeah.
You did Hajime Fukuroda, which is the gym teacher.
Right.
Like that. So tell me a little bit about what it was like actually working on GTO.
He was just nuts. I mean, the guy's absolutely nuts, as you know from the character. He's just like, screaming and crazy, and he's like, I don't know what he's like, kind of a Don Knotts with, he's just like crazy, full of energy and nuts, and hyper. And
Defender of Justice. I remember that line from one of the box sets.
What was the line?
It was like, "I am Hajime Fukuroda, female teacher. PE teacher and Defender of Justice," or something.
Defender, yes.
It was hilarious.
He had a little high opinion of him.
It was cool though. I loved it.
It was a lot of fun. Every once in a while I get to play these fun comical characters, which are a lot of fun, because a lot of times I play these really serious, tough guys or crazy villains, so every once in a while I get to play like these really nutty characters like Bobobo or Fukuroda, so they're a lot of fun to do those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, usually when you go and approach a series, do you have at any point, do you actually look at the manga or any of the other source material for some of those series like that?
I don't, and it's unfortunate, but we normally just don't have time to do it. It would be great if we could kind of examine the whole thing and talk about it. It would make a lot of sense, but they don't do it, unfortunately. The way we do most of this work is you basically go in, there's a script there, you've never seen the script before, and you basically do the work, and that's it. So all that stuff we're doing, they're pretty much cold readings, and we have to kind of go in and do the best we can.
So it's kind of like on the fly.
Yeah, all of it is. The games, the animation, it's all kind of on the fly. The only time you get the scripts is when you're doing original animation, and then they'll send you the script, you can actually read it, which is nice, because then you can go in and kind of know what's going on. But oftentimes, you don't even know what's going on in the scene. You have to rely on your director to tell you what's happening, so you know how to, to respond correctly.
That sounds great. Now, you mentioned games. Now, obviously, if I tell you guys out there what he's done when it comes to games, you guys will probably not believe me, but please, for everybody
and you'll poop yourself.
Yes, exactly. I did the same thing when I found this out, so please tell everybody.
He hasn't changed his pants yet, which is concerning me a little bit, but...
So please tell everybody, some of the game work that you've done.
When will this be out?
First thing Monday.
Oh, first thing Monday. Okay, well I can't talk about this one big game. It's the most anticipated game of the year.
Is that big?
It's that big. It's the most anticipated game of the year, and I have a big part in it. Anyway, some of the bigger games, I played Raiden in Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
My favorite character, by the way.
And I played the Joker in that, which was my favorite character.
Really?
Yes, the Joker in that. And then I may be doing the Joker again. There's a rumor out there somewhere. But the other, I play Raiden in the new Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat 9, guys, in case you guys don't know.
And I play Skywarp in War for Cybertron, the new Transformer game. And I'm in some of the new Star Wars games. And I'm trying to think of what else. This game Basara, which is a Japanese game that just came out. I play Kanbei in that, the guy with the big ball. And I'm in Call of Duty, Black Ops.
Oh, really?
That's a big one. I'm in a lot of big games, actually. I'm going to be in the new, I can't talk about, there's a bunch of games I can't talk about, unfortunately.
There's one game, though, I remember you did that when I looked it up, I just could not believe it. You also did Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yes, thank you.
You were Ansem, and I believe you also...
Ansem, and Zemus, and Xenor.
And Xenor.
Yeah, so I'm all those guys, and it's I've been doing it since Billy Zane played Ansem in the first game, and I played it all the rest of the time.
Part 2
all the other.
So he was literally in Part 2, Birth by Sleep, recoded 358 over 2. Are you in also Dream Drop Distance?
We have not recorded that yet, so I'm hoping I will be.
All right, please, consistency, game developers.
It would be nice, yeah.
It would be awesome.
I love it. It's nice being part of that game, actually.
Yeah, so many people love it. I love it. The fans love it. I was telling a couple people there, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" Like,
you'll have to ask me about. There's a funny story about that. You'll have to ask me at one of my panels. I think it's too long for your interview.
Please.
Oh, all right. Well,
please go ahead.
All right. Well, it's kind of funny when I first went in to do the part. As I said, Billy Zane did the original first one, and so the way I got the part actually was because. I don't know if Billy Zane was unavailable, he wanted money, or if he pooped in their salad. I don't know really what happened, why he's not doing it anymore. But for whatever reason, he couldn't do it anymore. And so the reason I got the part was the guy who does Ansem in the Japanese version of Kingdom Hearts does the voice of Bateau in Ghost in the Shell. So they said, who does Bateau in America? And they said, Richard Epcar, so that's how I got the part.
There you go. Consistency.
Which was unusual, because usually I have to audition for everything.
That's awesome.
So that was cool. So yeah, cheers to that.
Exactly.
And that Bateau got me that part. Now, the first day I go in to record, there was about 6 Japanese clients in the booth and 6 people from Disney in the booth. So I said my first line, the engineer comes on the talkback, he says, just a minute. And they're talking amongst themselves for about 5 minutes. He comes back on the talkback and says, can you do that a little slower? So I do the line a little slower. He goes, just a minute. They start talking amongst themselves for about 5 minutes. He comes back on, he says, can you do that a little faster? And this went on all day long.
That must have been nerve-wracking.
It drove me up the wall. I was like ready to jump off a cliff. So finally, we had a break, and I took the engineer aside. I said, how did Christopher Lee put up with this? He said they tried to do it to him once. And he said, all right, I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this. I'm going to read my part from the top to the bottom, and then I'm going home. And that's exactly what he did. I thought, how cool is that?
Serious.
I wish I could do that, but it was my first. Now that I've done 6 of them, maybe I can.
Maybe you can get
throw
away
my
with
weight
it.
around a little bit. I don't know. He is Christopher Lee after all, so.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but I thought that was a fun story to hear.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He had none of it. He would take none of it. He just basically said, that's it.
That's crazy. So, with that being said, one final question before we kind of wrap things up, guys. Out of all the stuff you've done, I know you've been Bateau and Ghost of the Shell, you've answered Kingdom Hearts, Fukuroda and GTO, you've done all these series.
Jigen, Lupin the Third.
Lupin the Third, all these different series.
Directed a lot of stuff too.
That's it. Out of all the things that you've been a part of, that you worked on and stuff, what was your ultimate favorite? What was the one that you really thought you got, and that was like your crown jewel?
It's a tough question. I get asked that a lot, and it's really a tough question. And I don't mean to, poo-poo it. But the thing is it gets to a point where basically everything I do, I try to do my best. I try to, whether it's a cheap thing or expensive thing or small project, big project, whatever it is, I always try to do my best work. So when you do these different characters, they're all kind of like your children, so it's kind of hard to say I like one over the other. I mean, there are a few standouts, like I like doing Bateau is great. I love doing Ziggy in Xenosaga. He was a great character. Joker was an amazing character, just something completely different than what I normally do. Jigen was a lot of fun. Just a lot of this Captain Grant in Shadow Chronicles and all the Robotech characters, all the Transformer characters. It's just hard to pick. But
they're also good.
Well, thank you. It's just a lot of fun. And Peter Ustinov used to say, and I steal this from him because it was such a great. They used to ask him, "What's your favorite role?" And his answer would be the next.
Hey, that's a good answer.
And that's pretty much the way I feel. I feel like I look forward to my next thing, and life's been good to me, thank God, and knock wood, and I keep getting better and better parts. So I'm just
you keep
thrilled.
doing them just as good as the last one.
Thank you.
You had me at Fukuroda. I'm just saying, I was done. I was good. I said between you.
died and been done.
I could have died between you and Steve Bloom. I'm good. That anime was right there. But anyway, thanks so much for doing the interview with us.
Pleasure.
So much fun. We'll be back with some more Chibi-Pa Moto footage, guys. So for Richard Epcar and VenomousFatman, stay tuned, stay epic, guys. Talk to y'all later.
Ciao.